Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Good Vibrations Only podcast. We are
Brought to you.
Brought to you by.
This could be you.
Call
Contact
us now.
Yeah, man.
Okay,
This is
today.
episode 6.
Yes, that's right.
6 already.
Episode 6, and
Yeah.
today's topic will be on
Paths.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in sync.
Just like choices, decision making, moving forward in life
Mhm.
in general.
Mhm.
And I think most of them, you all finish like your major
Just
examinations, right?
recently finished your major
Ends,
exams.
O's, A's,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
So,
so we thought this might be quite timely, and sometimes some of you also do come through and then ask us questions about the thought process behind all our decisions when it comes to what we choose to study or why we chose to start the business or why didn't we do that or should you do this and etc. etc. So we thought maybe we can talk about that today. So
facts.
okay, let's start. Let's begin.
Let's begin, man.
Maybe after secondary school, we can
Yeah.
talk about that. Both of us, as y'all may already know, we met in Singapore Poly,
SP.
doing creative media design. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there first. I went to Poly because I knew already what it was that I wanted to do. At that point of time, I think I talked about this briefly before. I was very much into web design. I was doing like graphics. I was playing with Photoshop a lot on my own, and I thought, this is something I want to do. I want to be like a graphic designer. That was my first level thought. And just following that, I decided, okay, maybe going to a design course will be great. So I ended up in Singapore Poly, creative media design, which is where I met you.
Right,
How about you?
Myself, I think I also mentioned briefly, like first episode, that since secondary 3, I think the main goal was to get into like NP's FMS, Film Media Studies, Mass Comm, right? Then I think I was 2 points short of the cutoff point, and I mean I didn't make it in there lah. But I think blessing in disguise lah, obviously I mean I ended up going to SP, Creative Media Design, which is like became known as Visual Communications. And dude, best time of my life, man. Hands down, best time of my life.
Okay.
I really wish COVID, ends for you guys. Hopefully next year, so the people going into your new school get to have a semblance of like school life. Yeah.
And I think we are quite lucky in a sense that we more or less know what it was that we wanted to pursue in poly. So some of you have come through and I don't know. Wait. Okay,
No leh, because honestly, like I said, for myself, it's like it was really mass comm all the way, right? And then after that, I mean, I got into visual comm. Then it's like
you just made do with your decision.
In some sense.
Okay.
Like I honestly remember the first year 1 sem 1. Wow, I was just, what is this?
What am I doing?
What is this? Get me out of here.
Okay.
But honestly, I think I come to love it lah. Right? So
You rose like a phoenix.
exactly, I think year 1 sem 2 was really, I think, where like it shifted, like my mindset, like, oh shit, okay, this could be fun, this could be interesting, especially when we did a lot of like branding and a lot of advertising modules, and I think that was really fun lah. But
So it is possible. It is possible to grow.
it is possible lah.
Grow as in into the course that you chose.
I think 100%.
Okay.
I think people, they tend to have this thing that holds them back.
Misconception?
Oh, sorry.
What thing?
Like I think
I was just trying to help you find the right word.
no, just like especially like from maybe like secondary school, right? Then like choosing a course or like even be it wherever you're headed to for your tertiary education. A lot of them, I think people are more, when it comes to poly lah, I would say, people tend to be a bit hesitant because a lot of people feel like, oh, okay, if I pick a certain course,
If I pick this, I have to do it for the rest of my life.
Right. And then they feel like, oh, they don't want to make such a grand decision, and they think that, okay, this decision could be made later in life.
So that's why I go to maybe something else where
Like more structured, maybe
Okay.
like at JC, just do my subjects and then get a grade, go into uni, then decide, in a later time where I may figure out what I want to do.
Yep.
Which again, more often than not, I mean, we know of people, and then maybe even some of you guys also, who went the JC route, at finishing JC and still not, knowing what you want to do. And to be honest, I think the fear is like what FJ said. You feel that the course that you choose will determine that direction for the rest of your lifeline. I think we are here to say that it's not very...
It's absolutely not true.
Yeah, like whatever you choose at that stage, right, I feel like it's not set in stone. Or whatever decision you make in life, right, nothing is set in stone. It can always like, change lah.
Yeah, and it's wild lah for you to think that, your whole life you can only be dedicated to one craft or one passion. Right. It's not true. You see so many different people every day. You come into contact into so many different kinds of content and stuff like that. Your interests change also. I mean,
100%.
Yeah, so it's only natural for you to gravitate towards other things. It's okay if that happens.
Correct.
And for us, we can say this because we know of people who have changed courses.
Correct.
Literally, or their life courses as well.
I mean, we always say we have this friend who is a really good like illustrator, does really good work, and I think after poly she went into like biomed and she's like working in a lab. So yeah, I think, dude, from like this arts and design, you move into like a science kind of like environment.
She cosplays on the side also,
I think
right?
so.
Yeah,
so it should be lah.
You see, it's okay, for you to be a scientist and like
100%, and
other things as well. Yeah,
nothing is like definitive. Doesn't it's not the end all be all lah.
Oh, we have another friend we met in poly as well. She went on to Japan and then she did baking.
Oh yeah. She went
now.
to like learn to be a patissier. Stay in Japan a couple of years. Came back and that's what she's pursuing lah. And shout outs to that lah. Props to that lah.
Yeah, and some of you may think of it like, oh wow, then she must have wasted 3 years. Then now she's completely doing something else. But I feel like you shouldn't think of it as time wasted. I feel like you needed to spend this time to understand that this was not what you wanted.
Right. I think everyone has their own timeline lah.
Yeah.
Not everyone is as like fortunate as some people who from the get-go know what they want to do, from the beginning lah, right? It's like, oh boom, I want to be a scientist or I want to be a football player, and that's the path that they take and that's the path that they become. I mean, there are definitely people out there who are fortunate lah, to know what they want at a young age, sure. But not all of us. So everyone has their own timeline. And just go with the flow. Whatever you do in that moment, just give it your best, And whatever comes next, it's really up to you to decide lah. And I think what's holding a lot of people back also is that, like what you say, a lot of the time wasting part. They feel like, okay, if I pursue this course and if I don't go into the like my nature of my work, right, doesn't relate to this course, it feels like like snap, what did I study all that for?
Yeah, what was all that time wasted, or like what was I doing?
Yeah, and we are here to say like, hey, really things change, and the thing is, just go with what your heart craves, lor. It really isn't. Again, nothing is set in stone, really.
And I think, okay, once again, y'all will say, oh, it's easier said than done. There's also, pressure from
parental expectations,
parents.
Societal
you
expectations.
have to understand that a lot of our parents, right, from the older generation, they are bound by circumstances. Why is it that a lot of our parents stayed in one career path the whole time through? Was because at that point of time, options were not a lot, especially if your educational level was not as high as other people or whatever, right? So our parents tend to stay in certain career paths and then they continue on in that path, and sometimes they think that is the right path for you, but
because it worked for them.
It worked for them.
Yeah.
And I brought you up with my experience and everything, so it should work for you as well. So you don't have to like, I mean, you just try to understand from their point of view, why it is that they are pressuring you that way. But just remember that the decision is yours to make.
Right.
And that nobody else is living your life for you except you. So
correct.
Make decisions that you will be comfortable with. You must answer to yourself and to nobody else. That's what we think. Yeah.
I think living and dying by your own sword is really like the way to go lah, and I think in episode 1 also I said, right, after NS my decision was actually my plan was to actually go to Japan to enroll in a language school lah, to study Japanese for like, I think it's like a 2-year course, rather than going to continue like to do a degree lah. And I think back then it's also like I think my mom's pressure. Like, my mom's very conservative. You know, again, you know, she came from an era where education is the way out, you know. It brings you places. It's like they always say it's the passport. It's the passport for like society, you know. You have to have this, you know, to move up the ranks and whatnot lah, you know. And I mean, I didn't believe in that school of thought lah. I feel like if you are like if you're true to yourself, you know, you have an inclination on certain things, somehow things will work out, you know. It sounds very simplistic lah, but honestly, I think if back then, again, if given a chance, I would have, you know, told my younger self to actually like be brave lah, and like, you know, go against the grain in that sense. You know, it took me a while, like I think during my uni days, to realize that, wow, snap, like this is not for me at all, you know. And yeah lor.
Did you use the 2 years in NS to think about what you wanted to do after NS? Or like
definitely lah. I think, especially I think for the guys, like, you know, that 2 year buffer sounds long, you know, but things get very mundane, things get very routine, and then you start to like,
for some people lah.
Yeah, for some people, you know, and obviously, you know, but because you are so caught up with like your day-to-day activities in camp or whatnot, right, like whatever service you're doing, and you think that, oh yeah lah, 2 years, 1 year, 10 months or whatnot, you know, you have abundance of time lah, but you realize actually it's a very, very short one. And then when you without you knowing, boom, you like ORD already. Then some people, I remember this one time my senior ORD, and then I just came into like the unit ma. Then I was just talking to him. I was like, hey bro, so what you have planned next after now, since you're done? Say, hey, I don't know, like I literally no idea, bro. But I'll start thinking like, and then again, you know, I was younger lah. I feel like, oh, you know, you should have some sort of plan, blah blah blah. But to be honest, right, patience lah. Really, everything just at your own pace. Go slow, you know. Yeah.
And then when you went to uni, you mentioned that was something that you didn't want to do, but you did anyway.
When I went to uni, I realized, like, I mean, the first year out of NS into uni, I felt like, wow, I very chiong lah, because you finally get back into like the real world and everything, and you know, I feel like, oh shit, I'm gonna make the best out of it lah, you know, and wow, I just chiong a lot, you know. But then when I came to year 3, I just felt a bit disillusioned with what I was doing lah. I was just like, this really is not for me lah. You know?
And I think it's the nature of the thing that we were doing, which is design. Like, I mean, I feel like, you know, for design, there are certain. I don't think design is one of. This is my opinion. I don't think design is one of the things that you really need to go uni for. I feel like it's a more hands-on sort of, you know, like a career path industry, as opposed to if you want to become, we always say, you want to become brain surgeon, please.
Yeah, you cannot learn off WikiHow or something.
WikiHow or YouTube that shit.
Step 1 this.
So there are some things that you need to, you know, do the due diligence lah. But like, you know, I also agree like, you know, design was not really something that we needed to go to uni for. And I think for me, I went to NTU to do comms. I had the intention of doing, you know, just majoring in advertising lah. But for me to get to that decision, it was like, after I graduated poly, right, you had NS, so you didn't really have to like, you know, sort of like immediately think about what you wanted to do. But then for me, I was like, oh shit, like now I have to think about what I want to do. Okay. And then I just like applied to all the unis because I thought that was the most natural next step, right? I didn't really think about whether I wanted to go out to work or anything. I just like try my best lah, just, you know, throw out all my shots, right? And then I actually got rejected by NUS and NTU.
FJ is our course the second top student.
Yeah, but you see, who talks about it now except for us? You know what I mean? So I mean, at that point of time, it was cool. It was a nice achievement to have. But like, you know,
in the real world,
nobody's gonna be like, did you graduate second?
Yeah.
In poly, in, you know, at that point of time, like, nobody's
first
gonna
is
ask.
more important, right?
But you make a great Asian parent.
Yeah, lor.
So yeah, as I was saying, I got rejected, you know, from NTU and US, and then I had the chance to appeal into NTU again. So I did, but the appeal was like a 60-word appeal.
It's less than a tweet.
Yeah, it was like less than a tweet, and I was like, from that I know lah, they're not going to read this, right? They're not going to take me seriously. So I just tried lah, just like, wow, it's super, you know, like
lyrical.
Just wax lyrical about myself. I'm so good. And then I got in lah. So And I remember feeling so heng, you know, when I got in, because I was like thinking to myself, wow, lucky, you know, my next step is secure. I don't have to think about it for the next 3-4 years. And for the longest time, I felt, I don't know if any of y'all feel this. I got a bit of this imposter syndrome. I went to look up the clinical definition of it, so I don't, talk shit lah. So it's about, feelings of self-doubt, like many times when you achieve something, you feel like you didn't earn it, or like for some reason you managed to get it. So you have a lot of like hesitance, owning up to it lah. So I felt that way when I went to NTU also. But I think, for me, when people ask me, oh, what is it you want to do after you graduate? Then I just tell them whatever, was easy for me to say lah. So I would just say like, oh, I think I'm going to do advertising. I'm going to do copywriting. I keep telling people I think I'm going to do it. Then I was like, okay, I guess this is what I want to do. So I just went ahead and did it. Right. So my first job was in copywriting lor. So for me, it was just like figuring out on the fly. It wasn't something that like, oh, I knew, this is what I wanted to do. So I think it's, where I'm going with this is what I want to say is like, it's okay for you to sort of just, maneuver your way in life as and when. It's not like there's no right or wrong wow.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong decision lah. I mean,
it's just the decisions that you're comfortable with.
I feel like a lot of times, like throughout the 3 years that we've been here lah, Loop Down Stakeout, we met so many customers, and then when I talk to them about like, their decision making behind like picking, I guess, a course or picking a certain school or even going to uni per se, it's a lot of them, they're led by fear. I didn't want to do law, but because my mom, my dad, they wanted me to do this, so to appease them, I go, but I freaking hate this course, I feel like, I want to drop out. And to that I say, right, okay, to put it simply lah, I mean, okay, we don't talk about like tertiary, we talk about like, say, like uni, right, uni stuff. I feel like the school's environment, right, is a fake environment. Everything in school, like, don't you think, right, like, okay, a lot of people, right, they after they finish uni, they say, I want to continue staying in school, be it like the friends, or I guess, you stay in halls, CCAs and whatnot, but because they don't want to go to the real world, right? School is an environment, right, where even if, what's the biggest thing that can happen to you? You fail, you remod, right? That's like the worst thing. It's not real. Like grades, results. Dude, 10, 20 years later, we're not going to talk about that, but it feels safe because you don't have to be in the real world, all these people, I mean, when we complain that, about school, it sucks. But every day we still go back to school. Every day we still go back. We still study. We still do the exams. And because to you, it's like, oh, it's just another day lah. It's school. I don't know how to explain. I don't know whether you guys get. I probably can describe it better, but it's just, don't worry about it. School is a fake environment. Like the real world is not like that. The real world is not so structured in the sense where if you follow A, B, C, you get to this result. And trust me lah, all the experiences you can get that you want, especially with regards to your interests, you can get it out in the real world. I mean, I always tell customers, and every time when we talk about like dreams and goals, I always say, if next year or whatever lah, when COVID is over or whatnot, and everything is a little bit back to normal, right? You go to sleep, you wake up, and then you say, oh, I want to go to Osaka to do farming, right? Literally just do it lah, And the thing is, right, is like, no, I know. A lot of people also say like, hey, but go also need money, but which is true. It's not like, oh, this is not like a pipe dream, like saying, oh, you go there, someone's going to sponsor you. But if you really want something, you want to go there to be a farmer, you have to work your ass off to survive there also, ma. It's a give and take. It's not like, oh, you want your cake and eat it too. A lot of things, right, when we say, oh, go for your dreams, go for your aspirations, it's not just say, oh, chase that lofty dream, everything will fall into place. No, there's a lot of hard work.
You must put in all the hard work.
You have to, and if dreams were so easily fulfilled and if it's so attainable, right, then everyone will be already chasing their dream, right? No one will be, slogging their life away, and I guess in some sense also it makes it more satisfying in a way when you actually do get to that point, wherever that point is, and success, right? I think as we age, like now we are our 20s are ending, right? I feel like the definition of success, right, may not be, it doesn't have to be the societal standard of like success, like money, fame, and whatnot. Of course, it would be nice. It would be nice to have money. I mean, who's to complain, that I have too much money? No, nobody lah. But that's not a very accurate like metric, to define happiness and success lah. A lot of things, do like, for example, for myself, doing stakeout and loop gums, I think aside from my passion and joy about clothing and vintage and styling, I think what I do derive most of my joy from is really interacting with people. I know it seems like I'm jumping all over the place, but like I always tell customers lah, if myself, FJ, if we didn't, let's say, start like loop gums or stakeout, right, I feel like we would have never met all these people, you guys, in our lives lah. Like where in the world would I cross path with, I don't know, like this like 16-year-old secondary school student who, so interested about anime and manga, just things of that nature. I think we treasure all these like, moments and connections lah, and that's where I derive my joy from lah. So I think my really core advice is, right, in whatever you're set out to do, at least when you guys are younger, where there are not too much responsibilities in life, just be brave, attempt, try, like just do the things that you feel like you want to do, no matter how, what do you call that,
ambitious?
Yeah, no matter how ambitious or no matter how big, how small you think it is, or, as long as you like it, I feel like lean into your interest. You never know where that might take you, and I also have this saying lah, like, I tell myself, whatever you do, right, again, big or small, as long as you do it with a good heart, you put in the effort, right, and let's say at the end of the day, it doesn't come to fruition as you'd imagine, right, but because of the journey that you had, all that good energy that you give out to people and the good energy that you receive, along the way, the people you meet, the situations that you face, all these things will aid you in your future, I guess, dreams and plans. So my big advice is, like, don't be afraid. It's okay. You won't realize how young you are until you are much older. I think even though we say this, because we are ending our 30s, right?
No.
I'm
not.
This one cut out.
Please, I'm not.
We reveal our because we're ending our 20s. Sorry, we're ending our 20s. Then now we look back, right? Wow, we see all of y'all like 17, 16, early 20s, 23, 24. We still feel like that's a good time, man. Like, you guys have so much more time.
Youth and energy.
Exactly. So really, don't worry on this kind of thing. Is patience. I feel like patience is the name of the game. And you guys will also, along the way, right, you will feel, shit, I at this age now, my friend they already at this level already, got car, got house, got marriage. And then you start to panic. You feel like, Siala, how come I'm not,
I'm not driving, not riding, not marrying.
Yeah, like you're not hitting, I guess, the quote-unquote checkbox of society and life. But you should stop and think about it, okay? If you look at that friend or that acquaintance or whatnot, you see that you look at their life, and then you see, okay, they have this, they have that, they have that. But what are they doing to have that kind of life? Do you want to live that kind of life? To have the things that they want to? If it's not like a direct, like, I guess, thing that you want to become, then there's no point, like worrying or to become. I have friends who after poly, they sign on as regulars in the SAF, be it like police or civil defense, right? And props to them, right? Because of them being regulars, right? I mean, they have I guess stable pay, right? They got the bonus, signing bonus and everything, and it allowed them to start a family, to have seemingly like the things that
the perfect,
the perfect thing. And they do have their sacrifices as well. And if that's not the kind of life you want to lead, to have that outcome, then bro, if it's not a direct thing, I feel like there's no comparison. Wish them well, always spread good energy, and then just focus on your own life. Like, it's okay, man. Everyone has their own time and own time to shine. You cannot compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 10. Everyone has their own character development up. Yours just haven't reached yet, and
breaking it down simple for you guys.
Yeah, man. It's like, just at the end of the day, just I think to reiterate what FJ mentioned earlier, really is, do not, I feel like, let your thoughts be swayed by the opinions of like society and what do you call that? Society and the norms lah. Because at the end of the day, if really that is what you want, and again, by no means, right, having a 9 to 5, having a what is deemed normal job, or nothing wrong with that. Some people want a 9 to 5, some people want a normal family, some people want to have time on the weekend. Bro, it's perfectly fine as long as it's what you want to do. I think that's the most important thing. It's what you want to do. That's why I say happiness and success can be derived from whatever you choose it to be. If you think that happiness is you at the end of the day having a house with 20 cats, who are we to say that that's not successful, bro? So it's really what you want at the end of the day lah. And to be honest, all these choices and like life path that you choose to make at this stage of life is okay. Don't worry. You try. Doesn't work out, not what you feel. I mean, not what you expected. Move on. Try something else. I think also the adults also like to say this. In Chinese it's like 三分钟热度, like very temperamental. Like, you try this a bit, then after that you
3分钟热度.
Yeah.
I think
it's not like 3-minute warning, like wrestling. You watch 3-minute warning.
It's 3 minutes, very hot. Then put down. Don't want already. That's basically the direct translation.
I think that's what,
of that.
When especially when you're younger, you have so many interests. Like you
only want it when it's hot, and then when it's not, you're like
correct. I want to be a manga artist. I want to be a police. I want to be a scientist. You have different wants and aspirations.
Like your Sims, like suddenly, I want to do this, I want to do that. That kind of
correct.
thing.
And I feel like that is the kind of thing that you actually should lean in more towards when you're younger. Try other things. If let's say you guys feel like, okay, the course that I pick in poly, the course that I pick in ITE, or maybe now that I'm in JC, this is not the place for me. Of course, if you have the courage to drop out, to try something, then by all means, right? But if not, never mind, you stick through. Even if you complete your tertiary education, you still be young as So the thing is, it doesn't matter. Like, so what? We also have friends who they went to JC, did the 2 years, and after that they realized, okay, it's still not what they want to do. They dropped out, then they went to poly, and then they completed that 3 years. And I guess it still worked out for them, and don't worry. I feel like a lot of times people don't dare to do what they truly want to do because they feel like they have to answer to someone. People's opinions on them matter more than their own voice. So man, guys, don't give up, man. It's not the end. If let's say again, sorry, I know I digressed just now.
No worries.
But like whatever courses that y'all think you're in, or like you're in a structured like system like JC or whatever, never mind. Y'all just do your best. Y'all complete it. Even y'all have time outside of school. Go and pursue your interests lah. Now I feel like the nature of things is like, if you want to literally talk about freaking, I don't know, like Yu-Gi-Oh, or you want to talk about farming,
or do ASMR.
Yeah, you want to do ASMR.
Play. Wow.
Yeah, you literally can turn on your camera, create like a podcast, make a TikTok, make YouTube videos on that interest, and slowly you will find your tribe. Yeah, we're not saying that, oh, you start confirm become success. No, success is definitely not guaranteed, 100%. Yeah, success is definitely not guaranteed, in anything that you do. That's definitely one of them, but if you think you like it, you have an interest, then just pursue it lah. The more you like something, I feel like you put in the work to do it, and no matter the outcome, just
take pride in what you do lah.
Take pride in what you do, man. And then I think for us, like
came to
right
work at Lucams.
Right.
Start up this. Okay. Was it a natural progression of things? I guess at the back of especially your head, this was something that you really wanted to see come to life lah.
But whenever people, definitely I think it was something that we had, like it was an idea that we had like very long ago, like during our poly days and whatnot. But every time when people ask, oh, is this our end goal? I feel like it's not like our end goal to like, just like,
be
have like
at
a clothing store or whatnot.
There's really so much more thought that goes into it. There's like grander plans.
Correct. It's not so much. It's not so much like, the physical space of having like many stores. I think we have like a core that we want to share with our audience lah. And Loop Gums and Stick Out is just an extension of us. And I think, at least for me, I think I said this in probably like the first episode or something. I think my core is, hopefully if as a team, right, we get big enough, right, I want to be able to be in a position where I can inspire younger people, like to lean into their passion, to make them feel like things are possible. And nothing, if this normal koko, this normal tete, they can do something that they enjoy and that they're happy about, I feel like if we can give them the ability and the encouragement and power to do the same, it will be a great joy in my life lah, to do so. So I feel like that is what my bigger goal of having all these, in the future, when we do go bigger, that is what I want to see a lot.
Kuo Chuan Presbyterian, you want to invite Coco back, give talk.
Hey, you can KCP, man, a flame for truth, let's go.
That's right.
But yeah, man, any school can. I don't mind. Like,
any schools can. Send in a request to your
Sing.
general office today.
Yeah, man, invite us to your school.
Yeah,
no lah, but anything sorry, because this topic, right, we really got a lot of things to say, so it might be a bit like jumbled up. But really lah, I think the best is if y'all have any questions or queries, right, feel free, drop us a DM, leave it in the comment section, or even better, right, come down
by, yeah.
Come down to the store.
Come bound. Did you say come bound?
Gunbound.
I played it like once or twice.
Well, like ADHD, we just keep changing. No, but really, like, y'all can come down. I honestly think without the cameras, I feel like at least for me, I share better, and I would sound more coherent. But yeah, man, guys, don't give up, man. Anything you need,
really. I think we come from a position where we really want to be able to be that person for ourselves that we would have wanted when we were younger.
Correct.
Had I had a older figure to ask all these questions, like, do you think this decision that I'm making is right? Even though I'm not looking for advice, maybe I just want to tell this to someone and have someone listen to me and maybe hear their side of it. That's what we aim to be also, especially when y'all come over. You want to say something, but that's what I'm trying to say lah, like,
But you know what the cool thing about this conversation, that we're having, you know what's the cool thing? The cool thing is, right, after watching this podcast, right, or after hearing what we say, right, and if you think what we say is like bullshit, right, that is fine too.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to us, because listen to your own voice, and if this is not something that resonates with you, and it's fine. Go your own path and boom, respect, man. I feel like remember just now we said don't listen to other people's like opinions and how it shapes you. What we can give you is our own experience and how we feel like it might be encouraging to you. But if you feel like, you know, you have a better way that works for yourself, mazel tov, man. Just go for that, man. Really. Yeah, lor. So
whatever it is, don't feel like you're alone.
yeah,
Really don't feel like you're alone. I know it's very easy to think that way, especially, you know, when with social media you see other people achieving other things, you know, going on around their own lives and achieving more than you. It's so easy to feel left behind.
Correct.
But
no, man. Yeah. And really lah, I honestly I feel also one thing is, be it whatever you do, whatever you pursue, right, you have to approach that thing with a good heart. You know, along the way, you know, you meet so many people, you'll be put in so many different situations, but I think we are a firm believer of, if you put yourself, you know, you come from a good place, you know, somehow or other you will definitely reach your audience, you reach your people. And I think that's what we consciously try to do here at Loop Gums and Stick Out, is that we want to be able to not only empower but to make people feel that it is okay to be themselves, however they are. You know, we welcome them. Everyone can be our friend, and we really hope that, you know, this actually sparks in each and every one of you who comes through our doors, right, to also, you know, take the same energy. You know, we always talk about good vibrations. This is not a marketing scheme or slogan, you know, that we have. This is literally, I feel like, why is it called like good vibrations, is we want to share the good energy, and hopefully when you take the energy, like, you know, from our store and then you leave, go back to your own circle, to your own space, spread that as well, you know. And we hope that it just becomes a ripple effect of just good energy. Yeah, I think that's really what we want lah. If you talk about bigger picture, I think that's really who we are. The clothes, the vintage, you know, the styling, those are just our medium to reach you guys, right? But the real engagement really comes from all these lah, the people to people, and take this good energy to whatever you do, and I feel like you can really not stray too far from your path on lah. So just, yeah, man.
You can
boom.
Do it. Okay?
Yeah,
you
man.
Can do it.
Anything can look for us and talk about it.
Don't worry. I think maybe this will be it.
Yeah.
For the podcast today.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully you found this encouraging, uplifting, helpful in any way. We hope, you know, that we helped you just a little bit. Yeah,
man.
Okay, all the best with your next path, your next step in life. Don't worry, your book can be very thick. It's okay.
It's okay,
many
man.
chapters.
Volume 1, Volume 2.
Yes,
hey, One Piece 20 over years.
Yeah,
so not
still
ended
going.
yet.
Don't even
Yeah.
know what One Piece is.
Boom.
Okay, yeah. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys on our next episode soon.
Atarimaida. Am I? We
start all over again. Okay. From the top, make it pop. That's a wet. Okay. Okay.